Today we are going to talk about The Rocking Horse Winner by D.H. Lawrence. This is a haunting story about luck, greed, love, and a child who desperately wants to win his mother's approval. At first, it may seem like a story about money and horse racing, but underneath, it is really about emotional neglect, family pressure, and the dangerous belief that money can fix everything. The story is about a young boy named Paul. Paul lives in a wealthy-looking home, but the family is always anxious about money. The house seems to whisper, "There must be more money." Paul believes that if he can bring luck and money to the family, his mother will finally be happy. But the more he tries to win, the more the pressure grows. Paul is a sensitive child who wants to help his family. He notices that his mother feels unhappy and unlucky. Even though she has a comfortable life, she still feels that something is missing. Paul wants to solve this problem, but instead of receiving emotional love and comfort, he feels that he must prove his worth by bringing money into the house. One of the most important details in the story is the whispering house. The house seems to say, "There must be more money." This whisper represents the family's anxiety, greed, and emotional emptiness. Even though the family appears respectable and well off, they are never satisfied. The house becomes a symbol of a home filled with pressure instead of love. Paul becomes obsessed with finding luck. He rides his rocking horse wildly, believing that if he rides hard enough, he will discover the name of the winning horse in real races. This sounds strange, but it shows how desperate Paul has become. The rocking horse becomes his way of trying to control something he cannot truly control. He wants to win money, but what he really wants is love. Paul starts winning money through horse racing predictions. His winnings help the family financially. But even when more money comes in, the emotional hunger inside the house does not disappear. His mother does not become truly loving or satisfied. This is one of the saddest parts of the story. Paul wins money, but he does not win the love and emotional security he needs. As the story continues, Paul becomes more intense and exhausted. He keeps riding the rocking horse harder and harder. He is chasing certainty, approval, and the next winning name. But the pressure becomes dangerous. What began as a child's attempt to help his family turns into obsession and sacrifice. The story shows how deeply children can be harmed by adult anxieties. The rocking horse is one of the most important symbols in the story. It represents childhood innocence twisted by greed and pressure. A rocking horse should be a toy, something connected to play and imagination. But for Paul, it becomes a tool for obsession. It also symbolizes false control. Paul thinks he can master luck, but he cannot control the emotional emptiness around him. We should still read The Rocking Horse Winner today, because its message is still relevant. It shows how money, pressure, and emotional neglect can deeply harm a child. It also reminds us that children often absorb the stress of the adults around them. The story asks an important question. What happens when a child believes they must earn love? That is why this story remains haunting and powerful. In one simple idea, The Rocking Horse Winner is about a child who tries to win luck and love in a house that can never be satisfied. Paul thinks money will fix everything, but the story shows that money cannot replace love, attention, and emotional care. It is a tragic reminder that children should not carry the emotional burdens of adults. For more simple lessons about literature and stories, follow Lingualistica. See you in the next one.